Hey, what is going on, guys? It is Young here, and today I'm back on our Fortnite video. And in today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys some tips and tricks on how to win in those high pressure situations. Maybe you're low on HP, maybe you're getting shot from multiple people. So I'm going to give you guys my best tips and as well my #1 tip to getting out of those situations. Because if you're going to be able to do this, you're going to be winning a lot more games and as well a lot more fights here in Fortnite. And before we get into the video, I'm going to be hosting a V-Buck giveaway. And if you guys want a chance to win some free V-Bucks, all you need to do is to drop a like on this video. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Turn on my notifications and as well leave a comment down below of your Xbox gamer tag, your PSN gamer tag, or Epic account. And for the winner, I'm going to be giving away 2,000 V-Bucks in which you can buy skins, gliders, pickaxes, anything you want in the item shop, so make sure you guys enter. And as well, if you guys like to add me and support me as a creator in the item shop, all you have to do is go over to the item shop, go down to the bottom right, hit support a creator, and type in my code. My code is Young Humor, and you guys will have me supported as a creator. And alright guys, let's go into the video. Alright, so in this video, I'm going to give you guys some of my best tips to how to win in the sort of those high pressure situations. And I'm specifically going to be talking about those gunfights you get into, and you could be going against one or more players, and maybe you're like trade shots or whatever, and you're down to really low HP. So I'm going to tell you guys exactly what to do when you're low HP in the fights, and exactly how you can play, and kind of the different options that you have, because it can be very situational depending on how you go about it. So there's a few things that you want to keep in mind when you're going into these situations, because it's going to be different going into each and every one. So one of the first things that you can do when going into these type of fights is you always want to try to see how much HP you have and how much HP the other player has. Because if you're trading shots, maybe you get a shot, and this happens so many times to me, it's the most annoying thing ever. Is I'm in a gunfight, I lit up the guy for like 120 damage, hit him again for like 30, and I'm still on 200 HP, and right before I go for the next shot, I get hit for like 130 damage, and now I'm down to like 70 HP, and as though the other player that I'm fighting is low. It's just one of those super annoying things, because now I'm down to low HP, and I could potentially lose the fight if I miss the next shot, and as though the other guy hits the shot on me. So when you're going to a situation like that, if you already have the player already low, I would just say go ahead and try to go for the challenge. Maybe you might want to back up, pop a heal or two, and then go back into the fight and finish off the player. But typically you just want to stay in that fight. You really wouldn't try to like dip out of there or try to do anything else, because if you already have the player low, even if they hit you for a lot of damage, like I said, you could back off, maybe pop a heal or two, but at the end of the day you still want to probably go for that challenge, because otherwise if they just run away, they're going to be popping who knows what, probably popping a chug jug because they landed Lonely Lodge, they have full shield and everything like that. So you're going to be going into fights, and it's just going to be a super bad fight to play, because even if you end up getting the kill, if you play really slow on it, most of the time after you get the kill, and even if you're at like 30 HP, most of the time the player that you kill isn't going to have any shield at all, and so their math could be low. But I'm really just focusing on HP in this video, so your HP is definitely going to be low, and you're not going to find any more kills off the guys that you kill if you drag out the fight for too long, and if you wait too long to kill the other player. So I would just go ahead and challenge the fight and try to finish off the other player. If you start off the gunfight, or maybe in the gunfight you have a significant health advantage, even if they do hit you pretty low, you still know that if you hit them one shot with your shotgun, you're still going to be able to get the kill. And so going into my next tip, this is probably one of my #1 tips when going to these high pressure situations. And it's one of those things, maybe you're going against multiple players, maybe you're getting spammed by 2 guys, or even like before, maybe you go into the fight, you make one guy really low, and as well maybe they trade shots with you, now you're low, but you still have another player to deal with that's going to have a lot of HP. So when you go into a situation like that, if you want to be able to win fights consistently, because a lot of the time if you're going against the players, and this is especially true if you're the one who's weak, maybe you only get like 1 or 2 tags on the other player, they still have shield, or maybe you don't get any shots on them at all, so you have no shots on them at all. They probably have 150 to 200 HP, and maybe you have no shield at all because you got tagged pretty hard in the fight. Maybe you're down to like 50 or so. A lot of times those players are going to play really aggressive on you, and which makes complete sense, because if you're low on HP and they know that you're low on HP, a lot of times they're going to play really aggressive, go for a W key and just spam the mess out of you, trying to go for that elimination. So a lot of times they're going to be playing really aggressive, aggressive, so you can use that to your advantage. So if they are playing really aggressive on you, you can easily line up a headshot, and this is really true in the early game, or maybe it can work at any time, but especially in the early game if you're on low HP. A lot of times you can just duck behind a corner in a building, and a lot of times they're going to be coming straight in. They're not even trying to do anything fancy, because a lot of times if you have a lot of HP, they're going to try to build or do anything like that. But if you are low on HP, they're not even going to try to build, they're just going to try to go for the finish on you. So if you do run into a building and you turn around and wait for the other player, a lot of times they're just going to run at you straight, and you're going to have a wide open shot on them. And a lot of times if you can line up your headshot properly, which really isn't going to be that difficult to do, especially if you're low on HP, because they're going to be running straight in the door. They're not going to be trying to build, they're not going to be trying to like run back and forth, do zigzags. They're going to be running at you straight. So you're going to be guaranteed pretty much 90% of the time to at least get one high damage shot off. And if you're close enough to the other player, which I would recommend doing, I wouldn't try to back up at all, because if you're low in HP and you know how much HP they have, and they're running around the corner, you want to be as close to the door as possible. So when you go for that shot, you're going to be hitting for 180, 200 damage every single time. So it's definitely the best way to go about it. And that's a very good way to go about those type of situations. But one thing that I also do, and that I would recommend doing the most, and this is really my number one tip, is a lot of times I just try to get out of that situation. So maybe if I'm in a fight and if I get hit to low HP, I get hit to like about 50 HP, I don't know how many HP the other players have, could be a solo, could be a duo, it doesn't really matter. But a lot of times the first thing that I'm going to think about immediately after I get shot, so I'm low on HP, the first thing that I'm going to think about is trying to get out of that situation. And that could be either running to another building, using a rift, using a launch pad, because I want to try to get off all my heals. Or sometimes if I'm low in HP, maybe if I have no heals at all, I just want to get completely out of there. But a lot of times when I have a few extra shields, but it's gonna be very difficult to get it off when they're spraying at you. So maybe you can create a lot of structures, overbuild, do things like that. But a lot of times just getting out of that situation completely is going to be your best option, and something that's going to be a very useful and good skill to learn if you are able to do it. And one thing that you really want to keep in mind if you're trying to run away and you are using a launch pad, you do have to be very careful with it, because with the launch pad, a lot of times you're not going to be diving straight down every single time, because you might get caught in a tree, maybe caught in a building, and as well you can't just dive all the way to the ground. So with that being said, you can get a lot of times, if you're really low on HP, maybe like 20 HP, if you do use a launch pad, I would recommend trying to overbuild or do anything you can to try to get at least a little bit of HP off, because a lot of times a lot of players, as soon as you use a launch pad, they're going to be trying to go for a shot or two on you. And if you're stuck at 20 or 40 HP, it's not going to be very difficult for a lot of good players just to get easy tags on you and finish you off there. So I'd recommend backing up, playing a little bit slower, overbuilding, or do whatever you need to get off a heal or two, and then try to get out of that situation on a launch pad. And another really good thing to do is, a lot of times if you're getting sprayed out from multiple directions, maybe you haven't even taken any damage yet, and if you're on low ground, one thing that you want to do is you want to immediately try to go for high ground if you don't want to get stuck at the bottom. And this is especially true if you're in a base, or maybe you're in a box on the ground, and it's one of those grounds or one of those levels in Fortnite where kind of the wall isn't all the way up. Maybe you have like 2/3 of the wall, or just a little bit more than 2/3. You don't have the full wall, and that's just a really bad situation to be into, and just a really bad place to be, because it's gonna be very difficult to edit out. And if someone's trying to come into your base, it's going to be very easy for them to do so. So you do have to keep that in mind. So if I ever get caught on low ground, a lot of times, even if I want to get off HP, if I know two people are about to start spraying at me on low ground, when I'm in those situations where, like I said, the wall is going to be like 2/3 up, it's not going to be all the way up, a lot of times I'm going to try to edit out my top two structures and just try to go for high ground immediately, because otherwise I guarantee you I'm not going to be winning that fight, and it's going to be very difficult to pull off, especially because I'm just get stuck on low ground. It's going to be very easy for the other players to get in, and I'm going to have pretty much nothing to do. I just have to take out the fight, and I either have to get lucky with a one pump or just hit him for a crazy amount of damage, get a knock right then and there. And that's just like I said earlier, if you ever get stuck in the kind of place where maybe you are low in HP and they're chasing you really hard, and if you are low in HP, they're going to be challenging you straight up. They're not going to be trying to do anything fancy. but you are going to be able to line up the headshot. But that's just one of those things where it's a little bit of a last resort. You don't want to rely on it every single time because it's not going to be consistent. You're not going to be hitting a guy for 200 damage every single shot, and you guys know that because I run to a lot of people, and a lot of times my friends as well, they're constantly hitting for 30 damage when they think they should be hitting for 70 plus, and it happens to me as well, where I think I hit the guy straight in the chest for like 20 or 30 damage when it really should have been like a 40 or 50 damage shot. So keeping that in mind, you have to be careful on exactly how you play it, because going for those high damage shots every single time can be a little bit risky, and you're not going to be winning those fights consistently. So you do have to keep that in mind when you're going for something like that. And with that being said, that's wrap up for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you guys liked it. And if you guys could, drop a like. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Turn on my notifications to be notified for every single new video. And alright guys, I'll see you next video.